Almost everybody who circumnavigates Great Britain without going to the Orkneys and the Shetlands goes clockwise. This is because of the Pentland Firth. The entry in the almanac makes clear why. The Pentland Firth is a dangerous area for all craft. Streams reach 12 knots between Duncansby Head and South Ronaldsay. Tidal streams reach 8 to 9 knots at springs in the outer sound and 9 to 12 knots between Pentland Skerries and Duncansby Head. The resultant dangerous seas, very strong eddies and violent races should be avoided by yachts at all costs. It then goes on to describe passages east and west, makes the point that the east-going passage is much easier than the west-going, and particularly since the prevailing winds mean that most of the time with the west-going stream it's wind against tide. However, if you're doing like we're doing and going up the Orkneys and the Shetlands, you can avoid the Pentland Firth altogether without going too far out of your way, and that was our plan. Leaving Wick, there are several anchorages which present themselves as good candidates. The first and most southerly of these is Kirk Sound on mainland Orkney. Slightly further north is Deer Sound. Both Kirk Sound and Deer Sound do require extra mileage if you're trying to make progress up towards Shetland in a hurry, and for this reason we gave them both a miss, because we had an event we wanted to get to in Scalloway. A comfortable 52 nautical mile day sail away from Wick, and further north is Whitehall, a little settlement on the Sound between Stronsay and Papa Stronsay. It provides a very, very sheltered anchorage and less added mileage as a night stop on the way to Shetland. To avoid all the turmoil of the Pentland Firth, our route took us outside the area affected by the Firth. So we went south and east of the Pentland Skerries at the southeast end of Sandy Riddle. I had a chat with the harbour master in Wick who confirmed that this would keep us out of the very rough water created by the Pentland Firth. And our route then took us well to the east of the Horse of Copinsay and our Skerry to avoid the turbulent waters created by the end of the Stronsay Firth. Both the Pentland Firth and the Stronsay Firth did give us moderate seas, even though winds were light, but it was perfectly manageable and certainly made a safe route. And by leaving at about 4 hours before high water Dover, we managed to get a lift from the tide for the first couple of hours that was quite substantial, and then an eddy forms when the Pentland Firth starts going the other way, and we ended up with a bit more of a lift up towards the Horse of Copinsay and even beyond, and in fact we never had a foul tide of more than about half a knot. Rocks make it impossible to make the entry at the eastern end of the Sound, and we chose to go north of Papagroona to avoid all the shallows and the potential for rough water if there was any kind of weather. Pilotage from there into the Sound is straightforward, with port and starboard hand marks clearly visible, and we had no difficulty finding our way into the Sound. The weather forecast was winds east or southeast 3 to 5, with seas slight or moderate, visibility good, occasionally very poor.
Morning all, here's our Tuesday morning update because we're on our way again. We ended up staying an extra day in Wick because the weather for yesterday was forecast to be a little bit too windy for us. It's ironic, isn't it? We either have no wind or too much wind. So we've gone for it today, but as you can see, the visibility is not very good. Got some swell, yeah, it's hopefully not going to be like this the whole way. We're hoping that this fog is going to burn off. We're on our way to Orkneys. So the exciting news is that we've just left mainland Britain and we're on our way to the islands. I will update you later. It's now just gone 2:30, and if I'm honest, I'm not really enjoying today very much. It's very lumpy, as you can see out there, despite the fact that we haven't got much wind. We're actually motor sailing at the moment, which is why it's really bizarre that we've got this lumpy sea. Well, it's not bizarre because we've just gone past the, what's the name of the firth?
Stronsay Firth.
Stronsay Firth. We've just gone across the end of the Stronsay Firth, and before that we went across the Pentland Firth, which, oh, I can barely stand up, which is notoriously one of the most dangerous pieces of water in the country. We didn't go through it, we just went across the end of it, and I will give a bit more technical information about that later. But we are rolling around all over the shop. I have managed to make a cup of coffee and a cup of tea on this leg, but only by putting the mugs in the sink, so that when I pour the water, it doesn't matter that it splashes all over the side. But you can see these big rolly waves coming towards us, and there's a big one there. I'm just, oh, rolling away. So it's really hard work. I'm standing. There's a big one there. Oh, I'm standing in the companionway, basically, just standing on the top step and holding on under the spray hood, which is quite a warm spot to be here up on deck. There's a view out the front, and you can see how much we're rolling about. It's really good for your core muscles though, because I'm really having to strain against everything. And it's also flipping freezing today. Once that awful fog did eventually burn off, we thought, oh yeah, great, the sun's coming out. We saw blue skies for about 10-15 minutes, and then it all clouded over again, so it's really not warm, which doesn't help. Anyway, we're grinning and bearing and enjoying it as best we can. I forgot to mention that we're just going past an island called Owskerry, which we've named How Scary. I don't know whether you can even see it through there. There's quite a big lighthouse on the end of it. And that, I think that basically marks the end of the Firth that we've just gone across. We're getting lots of big waves across the bow as we bounce up and down. Nothing as yet has come in the cockpit, so that's okay. Oh wow, is that some sunshine? Oh, look at that, sun.
Well, as always, I hope you found that interesting or useful, or both. If so, please remember, hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon. All these things really help the channel grow. Come back soon when we will show you the leg between Stronsay and Fair Isle, and then Fair Isle to Scalloway.